What's going on, Jerome's? So Minnesota Vikings current QB1 slinging Sam Darnold. We've talked about. I've been a fan of him since his amazing redshirt freshman season at USC. Men of Troy, but number 3 overall pick to the Giants. Giants probably would have ruined him too, but to the Jets in 2018, and it just wasn't all that, right? Working with Adam Gase, bad offensive line. Robbie Anderson was your wide receiver 1, going to Carolina, and Matt Rule, and just, but last year, back up with Shanahan. It's kind of a nice deal. Back up for Brock Purdy, went to the Super Bowl. It's fantastic, right? But there's just been so many issues with Sam Darnold where it's just like, you do wonder. So it's obvious he has talent, but nature versus nurture. Now, could nurture just beat the piss out of him, completely sap his confidence, and it's finito, it's a wrap, he's beyond saving? Or would he have not worked out wherever? Either way, I like that Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell tried to find out signing him to a 1-year, $10 million deal in free agency. Now, I think it's a great spot because the Vikings, because obviously free agency happens before the draft, it was a nice hedging of the bets in terms of the Vikings going out and seeking their quarterback of the future. And also, I think that in the interim, that slinging Sam Darnold, surrounded by Jefferson and Addison and Hockenson when he gets back, Christian Darrisaw watching his ass, Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler running out of the backfield, as well as his guy, Josh McCown, QB coach, and Kevin O'Connell, his head coach and play caller, that things could work out, right? And he would pan out on some of that potential that he obviously had, but it hasn't worked out yet. But long story longer, the Vikings drafted JJ McCarthy number 10 overall, and Darnold knew that he was just renting his job. Now, we talked about how an amazing best case scenario would be Darnold balls out, has himself an MVP adjacent type season, and the Vikings can tag and trade him for a mint, or maybe even extend him long term, and he's the guy if McCarthy wasn't working out. But long story longer, of course, the attention is all going to the rookie. Of course, everyone worships the rising sun as opposed to the setting sun, even though, I mean, Darnold's only like 27, 28. It's kind of crazy, man. But, of course, all the fans are rooting for JJ McCarthy. Everyone just sort of sees that Sam Darnold is a placeholder, even though I fully understand what O'Connell wants to do. He wants to redshirt JJ McCarthy and make sure that everything that he needs in terms of learning the playbook, learning the play calls, learning reworking his footwork, and just getting acclimated to the pro style game, as well as his teammates, as well as everything, all the soft skills that it goes into being a pro. And Darnold can hold down the fort, and the Vikings can have a damn good season because of the weapons and Flores' defense, and you're good to go, right? But things are starting to change a little bit. So with Kevin O'Connell, the whole thinking was, okay, JJ, OTAs, you're quarterback 3, you're behind Nick Mullins, you're working with the 3s, maybe you'll get some work with the 2s, maybe. And Sam Darnold was looking really damn good during OTAs. Now, there has been some reports and speculation that, hey, Darnold is good when there's no pressure, but OTAs, no pressure. Training camp, there's a little bit of pressure. Now, Darnold has had some amazing, amazing throws, don't get me wrong. Seems like every single day O'Connell has a deep bomb dialed up for him, whether it's to Addison or Jefferson or Naylor or whoever. And Darnold has looked good in spurts. But his red zone work on Tuesday was not great, as J.J. McCarthy threw 4 touchdowns, Darnold threw 0. And just inconsistency. And throwing some bad interceptions, which has been the bane of Darnold's existence, going back to the Panthers, going back to the Jets, even going back to USC. He does have a tendency to throw the ball to the other team. Meanwhile, J.J. McCarthy, working primarily with the 2s, sometimes against the first-team defense, has looked good in whatever Kevin O'Connell's put on his plate. And it seems like every single practice, consistent, getting in and out of the huddle, confident at the line of scrimmage, maybe even making a couple changes up at the line, dealing with the Flores exotic looks and blitzes and bluffs and stunts and disguises pretty well. And when he decisive, not like a deer in headlights, and when he moves off the spot, he resets and he lets it fly, man. Like the arm is legit. And Darnold's got an arm too, but you can just tell. You can just tell, like, everything is stacked against Sam Darnold right now because the fans want J.J. McCarthy, even though, as we said, like, low and slow barbecue is better than microwave. But what if J.J. McCarthy is just ready, man? What if he's just good to go? And Darnold is a guy who, like we said, throughout his career, maybe that confidence, once it gets beaten down, maybe it just never comes back, right? And just feels like he's a guy that is a momentum player. When things are going good, things are going good. When things are starting to go bad, they start to go really bad. And you can tell, like, there was no pressure in OTAs, but it seems like he's playing a little bit tight now. And it seems like he understands that McCarthy's breathing down his neck. He understands that he's the underdog. Well, he should be the favorite to start week 1, but he's the underdog in the eyes of the fans. And every single mistake that he has, every single little mistake is being picked apart, and everything with JJ McCarthy is sunshine and rainbows and unicorn farts, right? But at the end of the day, O'Connell's going to have to make a decision. And it may be a tough one, because I truly believe that O'Connell did have that redshirt plan with McCarthy in place and having Darnold be the bridge quarterback this season. But the whole talk about, well, McCarthy, it's not so much about when he gets on the field, is that he has to get better every day and hit these benchmarks and hit these check marks and all that stuff. But what if he's doing it? And we knew that the tone with Kevin O'Connell was different, because OTAs, McCarthy was just quarterback 3. Mullins was ahead of him. And then it started training camp. Magically, McCarthy is ahead of Mullins and getting almost all of the second team snaps. And there's already Kevin O'Connell's already said that he will get first team reps. Now, obviously it's early in training camp. We're just 6 practices in. Today is 7. But I mean, what more do you want? Like, this is the sample size that you have to work with. And bottom line, even though McCarthy working with the 2s, he's looked much more consistent than Sam Darnold so far working with the 1s. It just is what it is. Now, it's not to say that Darnold's highs aren't as high as JJ McCarthy's. They certainly are, but it's starting to be a little bit concerning. And honestly, if you took the names off, if you took the names off the jerseys and everyone was faceless, which quarterback do you think would look better? I think that you would say McCarthy. And at a certain point, even though O'Connell, does have this plan to redshirt him, at a certain point, is McCarthy too good to ignore? Or is Darnold too inconsistent to ignore either? And maybe it's a spot where, hey, we have to do what's best for the team, and the best quarterback right now is JJ McCarthy. And like I said, I feel like Darnold could be feeling that pressure, because he knows that at this point, the idea of him being here beyond the season is probably gone, right? McCarthy is the future, and absent Darnold signing on to be a backup for a significant pay cut, ain't going to happen. Just is not going to happen. He's probably going to be somewhere else battling, I don't know, Shedeur Sanders with the Cowboys next year after Dak signs with the Giants, just trying to be another bridge quarterback. But that's never going to happen, because Jerry has to sell tickets, so Shedeur is starting at game 1 as a rookie. But it's hard to ignore. And you just wait until McCarthy gets some reps with the 1s. 11 on 11 full pads, hits Justin Jefferson deep, hits Addison deep, makes some big-time throws, and all of a sudden it's over. That's a wrap. Or you get to the preseason games, and all of a sudden, I mean, they're splitting reps with the 1s, and McCarthy's simply looking better, and Darnold just being inconsistent. Yeah, he's got some good throws, but he's got some horrible throws, some bad decisions, because he's feeling the pressure. And JJ McCarthy has nothing to lose. That's the great thing about McCarthy right now. He is playing with house money, because he's not even supposed to start. So that's why he's loose. That's why he's confident. That's why, and also he puts in the work, so he's competent. And that's what matters. And I truly think that, so coming into training camp, I thought that it was 90-10 Darnold. I think right now it's 50-50. I think it's a dead heat. And the night practice is going to matter a lot. Joint practice is going to matter a lot. The 3 preseason games, it's going to be a close heat. And like we said, I do think that tie does go to Darnold. But if it's not a tie, and if McCarthy is just head and shoulders better than Sam Darnold, I don't know how O'Connell could say with a straight face to his teams, like, Sam Darnold gives us the best chance to win if McCarthy continues on this trajectory. I just truly don't see it. So you may as well kickstart my heart. And yeah, there's going to be bumps in the road with any rookie quarterback, but if he is the future, he's going to learn from his mistakes and go from there. But I kind of feel bad for him. I kind of feel bad for Sam Darnold, because he has all this potential, or maybe had all this potential, number 3 overall pick for a reason, and it didn't work out for a myriad of other reasons. And, it just sort of is what it is. But, as we said, like, if Darnold can't succeed here with all of the weapons, all of the coaching, all of the infrastructure, he can't succeed anywhere. And, it just is what it is. But, I mean, McCarthyism is taking over, as our guy Thor Nystrom says. Who knows, man? But your thoughts are thoughts. Is Sam Darnold blowing his shot here with the Minnesota Vikings, or is JJ McCarthy just that ready? Guess we'll find out. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull Production Value.